I've still got the men's physique.
It's a simple life, this, being a bodybuilder. Today we've got some bodybuilding content for once. Got a full day of eating, so this is my high day. I have 2 high days a week. One is on my leg day, which is today. The other is on my back day because my quads and my back are horrendous and they need to get better. So we put more food on those days. They are also my 2 most demanding sessions, so my calorie output is the highest. Therefore, we need to just eat plenty of food to replenish that and make sure we are growing. So in terms of where I'm up to now in the off season, I'm 237 pounds upon week. I'll put some check-in pictures on screen now. We're not obese yet, which is good. Kyle does want to push up to 240, 250 around there. And looking at condition, we'll absolutely get there. We are still barely using any tools available. So, it's the best, most responsive I've ever been, which is crazy to say 5 years deep into this, but I can't complain. So in terms of what my schedule looks like, on this high day, because food is higher, it's 5,100 calories. On a regular training day, it's 4,680, and on a non-training day, it's 4,200. So there's quite a variation. Today I'm eating 1,000 more calories than I would on a rest day, for example. So yeah, with that being said, I get up around 5:30 to 6 a.m. every morning still. That's been a fantastic thing I've done post-prep this year, is I really held on to my prep routine. I still get up stupid early. First thing I do is I'm straight on the treadmill. Well, first thing I do is I get on the inversion table because I'm 40 years old and get sciatica, so I have to stretch out on the inversion table first. Then I jump on the treadmill, as you saw this morning, and that's what I do every single morning, 60 minutes on the treadmill. Today's a little bit different because food is so much higher. I like to get 2 meals in before I go and train legs. I like to make sure those meals have time to digest. So I did 40 minutes on the treadmill. I'm now coming to eat my meal 1. Then I'll go back on the treadmill for 20 minutes after meal 1 just to help that digest. And then I'll have my pre-workout meal as meal 2. Very, very minimal fat here. Again, kind of just to prioritise digesting quickly before I go and batter my leg. It's quite a carb-dense meal. It's not a lot of volume for 90 grams of carbs. 3 crumpets, a bit of jam, and some raspberries are a bit easy to eat. I'm not the biggest fan of jam, in all honesty. Today I kind of fancy it. I'll rotate between honey and organic maple syrup. Organic honey or organic maple syrup. This is also a rather expensive jam. It's more of a strawberry preserve, I think it's called. That's not got a million different ingredients and fucking E numbers and all this shit. So, although it is a higher sort of glycemic carb, like quite sugary and that, still try to make intelligent decisions with it. So, right, in about 3 minutes, that's meal 1 down, 1 of 6. I'm gonna go jump back on the treadmill, do my last 20 minutes of cardio / steps at this point now. And then it'll be a little bit of climb work for a bit, and then I'll be back for meal 2, and then off to the gym later this morning. It's kind of like 2.5 meals before I train, which I'll explain. But yeah, meal 1, thoroughly enjoyable, still very hungry, so more cardio, and then just eat again in like an hour and a half realistically. Right then, we have finished cardio, showered, so I smell nice. Done prep client check-ins, and it's now 8:25. I'm going to get meal 2 in, which is rice pudding. So we've got 120 grams of rice pudding, 50 grams of whey isolate, 125 grams of frozen raspberries, 80 grams of frozen blueberries, 20 grams of dark chocolate, and 10 grams of coconut oil. So this is just where we start to trickle in a few more fats. Doesn't tend to affect me really having these fats pre-workout. The rice pudding digests so well that I get no real issues. So in a good spot, I'm going to start whipping that up. Just on the topic of prep clients, the week I'm filming this is Tuesday. Em's second show is this coming weekend, so she's in peak week at the minute. We've got Maku in prep for Amateur Olympia Romania, I believe, or a show. I think Jonathan Caspi as well, he's in prep for Amateur Olympia, so we've got quite a few lads going into the Amateur Olympia in classic and bodybuilding. Em's obviously at her pro qual this weekend in bikini, so it's all going on, the team is flying, and I'm very privileged to work with the athletes I do. So if you are interested in coaching, obviously go over to my Instagram, there's a link in the bio, hit that, and then I'll be able to send you some more information, and if you are interested, get signed up and we'll get to it. But yeah, I'm going to whip up the rice pudding now, get this down. This is one of my favourite meals of the day still, which I never thought I'd be saying this far into the off season on 5,000 calories, but you just can't go wrong with it. A little secret, if you are struggling appetite wise, I'm not really yet, but I do want this volume to be as carb dense as possible and not a massive volume because I'm about to go and train legs. I don't want to spew it back up. So with rice pudding, it recommended that you do 3 times the amount of water. So this is 120 grams of rice pudding, meaning I need 360 grams of boiling water in there to be at like the correct ratio that they recommend. And that works fantastically. But what I'm going to do just to keep it slightly lower volume is I'm going to do 300 grams of water instead, just to literally make it a little bit denser. With this being the pre-workout meal, I do 2 grams of salt. So I don't do any salt on my first meal. I just put 2 full grams in this pre-workout meal, mainly because salty crumpets doesn't sound too appealing to me. But slapping in 2 grams of pink Himalayan salt in the pre-workout meal does. So I throw salt in this little cup. I'll also throw a load of Saigon cinnamon. The reason I use Saigon, not just normal cinnamon, is it's it's much better for your gut biome, doesn't cause as much discomfort, and I really do like cinnamon, so I like to use quite a lot of it. And then also in the rice pudding, I'm using a flavour powder. So my absolute go-to at the minute is a salted caramel and a dark cookie crumb. I do about 5 grams of the stuff. 1 serving is 3 grams, but I just do a little bit extra. But I'm also eating quite a lot of rice pudding here, so obviously I need more flavour to it. So we just drop all of that in there, the salt, cinnamon and flavour powder. Mix that all in, and then we get a very nice bowl of rice pudding. For that amount of food, relatively small volume, very nice tasting. You got some fruit, rice pudding, whey, cinnamon. Still one of my favourite meals of all time, so can't complain. I'm going to sit here, nail this, watch some golf, and then get back to more client check-ins. Bosh, right. That is 2 meals down by 10 to 9. How productive. So yes, let's say it's 9 AM now. I'm probably going to go train about 10:30. I do like to leave quite a while before my pre-workout meal, before I train, especially on legs, because I like it to be fully digested. I don't like to feel like food's here, and I will just throw it up during legs. So yeah, for legs I do, especially in the off season when food's really high, I do leave it a little while. We do have one more small feed right before legs. So Kyle wants me doing 2 squares bars sort of just before I leave to go to the gym. So about 15 minutes before I go and train. So I've got that to look forward to, but yeah, that's boxed off now. We've got about an hour and a half of check-ins to do, and then I'm going to go fuck myself up on leg day and render myself disabled. Right, inch workout, we've got 50 grams of cyclodextrin and then 1 serving of the elite aminos, ye old faithful. Before I leave the house, we've got 2 Rice Krispie treats, or squares bars if you're British. So I'll eat those for just a quick shot of simple carbs pre-workout. Right, I'm gonna nail these now. The only other thing I take along with the intra workouts, I just take a bottle of water for leg days, purely because when I'm just straight drinking EAAs and carbs, especially during legs, it can make me feel quite ill. So I like to just have a plain bottle of water so that in between like heavier sets, I can just sip on some water to rehydrate, and I'm not having to drink, you know, really flavoured heavy carbs that could sit a little bit heavier. Especially in this hot weather now, because during a leg day, I do burn significant amounts of calories. I do sweat a lot, so I do have to rehydrate a lot, and doing that straight from flavoured EAAs and carbs is not always the most pleasant. So yeah, I take water. Right then, the last thing we do before we head to the gym most days is some sushi rice in the rice cooker. so that when I get back, I've got my post-workout ready. I'll talk more post-workout about the post-workout meal, but it does vary. It's probably the one I change the most. Some days I'll do rice pudding, some days I'll do cereal, and then some days I do sushi rice and pineapple. And today I'm feeling like a sushi rice and pineapple day, so that's ready for when we get back. I'm gonna go cripple myself, and then we'll get back here, nail some chicken rice and pineapple. Right, back from legs. Emily's here.
Hello.
Yeah, excited as ever. Right then, with this post-workout meal, we also have 3 caps of a GDA, which is there, and then 2 more caps of ESN digestive enzyme. enzyme. Quickly as well with the pineapple, so the pineapple is in there for helping with digestion as well. So it's got an enzyme in there that helps break down protein, with this being a higher protein serving meal. It's just good to have in there. Also, nice variety for carbs. Make sure you're having fresh pineapple as well, or frozen is fine. Just don't have tinned, basically, because in tinned pineapple they throw in a million preservatives, which just aren't good for you and not good for the pineapple. They also, make it less efficient at breaking down that protein. So just get a fresh pineapple, cut it up, and slap it in the Tupperware in the fridge like I did. And then you've got pineapple for sort of 2-3 days at a time, and it's far nicer fresh pineapple. I love it. It's really cheap as well. You get a whole pineapple for like 99p, and that does last like a good 2 or 3 days. So dead easy. Whereas tin pineapple, you're getting like 1 tin for like £1, which lasts a day maximum. So yeah, bon appetit. Post-workout boxed off. I'm very, very dehydrated and parched. So I'm gonna finish this 500ml and then probably just get another litre on the go. During meetings, got first one now, got another meeting in 2 hours. Second one's a very exciting one. Can't speak on it for probably quite a while. It's not sponsor related or anything, so nothing's changing there. I'm very, very happy where I'm at now. On the topic of which, Sam Sulek just signed for Gymshark. Very, very cool. So yeah, congrats to Gymshark, really. Sam's big time, but it's just sick to see. Very cool to see Gymshark going in that direction again, where it's even signing the likes of myself and Sam. It's like very much bodybuilder focused. Me being a biased bodybuilder, I like to see that. Obviously, Gymshark is still nailing every aspect. They're still mainstream lifestyle. All of it. But it's good to see them also focusing on bodybuilding as well. So very sick to see. But yeah, some important meetings this afternoon. Little bits of work to do. I also really want to go and hang upside down on the inversion table again, because my back, if you couldn't tell already, is in pieces, for lack of a better word. I just get really tight through my sort of erectors and glutes and everything, and then it just pulls left, right and centre. I had a few weeks where my right foot was completely numb from sciatica. Today it's actually my left side lower back, which tends to flare up a lot more from like sitting in the car and doing a lot of driving or standing around. And last week I had 2 full 8-hour days shooting at Gymshark, and it was a lot of on my feet and a lot of driving. So as a result, my left side has seized up quite a bit, but nothing that a bit of stretching, mobility work, tissue work, and inversion table won't fix. So I just need to put the hours into that, which I hate doing, but it's necessary. So later today I should have time to be able to do inversion table and a bit of mobility work as well. So yeah, but first up we need to have this meeting. So I'm going to rehydrate, jump on this meeting for a little bit, and I'll catch up with you after. We're halfway through the full day of eating now. It's 5 minutes to 1 p.m, so 3 meals deep by 1 p.m. We've trained, had intra workout, all that good stuff. 3 more meals to go, and lots of stretching, and we're getting there. Why is there a fucking billion flies in here as well? Right, there is actually about 7 flies. I'm going to have to pause and twat some flies really quick, because I don't know if you can see, but there is about 300. This is a pretty accurate day in the life. It's me scrapping flies and getting the kitchen really dirty. Increase the fats now. A lot of the higher carb meals Not even actually. Pre-workout was high carb, and intra-workout and stuff was really high carb. Minimal fat, so now we're just tapering up the fats towards the end of the day. I've got 2 more meals after this, which we'll get to, but I'm going to eat this, and I've got my final meeting of the day in half an hour. I've also just had delivery of 2 big sacks of Gymshark, so we will take a look at what's in there as well. Got a load of t-shirts, this one being my favourite. Hoodies down there. Don't really know what else to show you. This t-shirt is already out, by the way, so if you like this, go and grab it. Got this nice Geo Seamless one. I'm not a fan of tight tops, but this one I am a big fan of. I'll put that on and show you. There's a few other bits, but yeah, there's just a load of sick pairs of shorts that will all be out very soon, so keep your eyes peeled. 9 times out of 10, you will never see me in a tight t-shirt. Reason being is because when there's like a seam here, it always like bunches right up, and I end up, because I'm quite wide, but I'm not the tallest, right? So it always ends up like here, and the sleeve sticks out, and it just fits weird. But this one, because there's no seam, it like fits dead nice, and I'd never wear something like this normally, but it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a tight t-shirt, which is normally what I hate. And it's like nice and tapered, loose around the midsection, so when you're bracing, you're not just got a big fucking... I still got the men's physique. I did that for way too long. Right, so yeah, Code Eagles, Gymshark. I'm going to sit here, eat some chicken and rice, and watch some golf. It's a simple life, this, being a bodybuilder. We're going for our evening stroll. It is 7 PM. Normally we come out at like 8 PM, but coming a little bit earlier today. We both still got 1 more meal to eat. Normally we'll do this after we've eaten all our meals, but today we just did it now. It does also look like it's going to piss it down, so we wanted to come out before it rained. I'm not going to film the journey there, because then you can probably work out where I live. So I will catch you when we're at the little farm with the weird animals. Quick tip on this: if you are somebody who struggles to get their food in, walk more. Just walk in between each meal, or increase your step count. I'm coming up to 12k steps for today, because I always do more steps on leg days before, because I end up just walking around the gym. But yeah, just walk more and you'll be hungrier. Simple. We've made it. Final meal of the day, meal 6. Originally, when food was significantly lower, this was just like a Ninja Creamy. As food has climbed, it has had carbs added to it, which are 90 grams of rice checks. Rice checks are American. They are like a gluten-free complex carb cereal, really good. We can't get them over here basically, so I just do like Rice Krispies, Cocoa Pops instead. Not quite as good, but needs must. Typically, if I do a cereal post-workout, this final meal won't also be a cereal, it'll then be the chicken and rice instead. Because I did the chicken and rice post-workout, this meal tonight is then the cereal, because I don't fancy eating 3 chicken and rices in one day. It's got 100 grams of blueberries in there. That was when it was a creamy. I'd put blueberries in the Ninja Creamy, but because this isn't now a Ninja Creamy, I'm just going to add that 12 grams of carbs there to the cereal, so I'll probably just do about 105 grams of Cocoa Pops, 30 grams of dark chocolate, and 55 grams of ESN Leon Cereal Designer Way. For my cereals, I'm going to run a blend. We've got some knockoff Cocoa Pops. Not actually enough, so I'm going to have to break out these. Yeah, I have to open a new Cocoa Pops actually. It's 7:30, so for reference, up at about 6. Meals evenly spread out throughout the day. Last meal normally around 7:30, 8 PM-ish. Don't normally go to sleep till about 9 PM-ish, so eating my final meal about an hour before bed, just to give it time to digest a little bit. To be honest, I am still pretty hungry. Like, this will go down easily, no issues. Could quite comfortably eat another 1,000 calories on top of what I'm eating right now on the high day, to be perfectly honest with you. And that just goes to show how, responsive I am, how blood glucose is in such a healthy spot. So no real complaints. Obviously, with it being leg day, it was a very taxing session, so that does massively help stimulate appetite. Steps are now 12.5k for the day. Did my cardio this morning, so there is a lot of output, which allows me to eat obviously a lot of food. I am also nearly 240 pounds, so there is a big demand for food. So we're in a really good spot. But I'm going to go and eat this and wrap up the video after. That concludes the full day of eating. I went through the totals for the day this morning, so I won't do that again. As I said, very easy to eat, very easy, comfortable way to get my food in. So 0 complaints. We're growing nicely. We're still nice and lean as well. Lots more growing to do. About halfway through the off season, so second half needs to be a good one, and then we'll be starting prep towards the back end of this year. So like and subscribe so you don't miss any of that, and I'll see you in the next one.